how to become a modern samurai, get ripped and dangerous. This is an exercise I created, basically a modern approach to how samurais trained back then, but with gym, with calisthenics, with cardio involved. So let's get into it. Intro. The samurai trained hard in martial arts, focusing on weapons, hand-to-hand combat. In this video, I'll focus on their physical conditioning. We'll talk about the other training stuff in the future of martial arts and all that other stuff, but for now, it's just how to get ripped, how to get aesthetically pleasing, but still be functional warrior. So to understand better the physical conditioning, the average samurai was 5'3" to 5'7", and the training was just like any other military type training. But if the military is not really your style, then the best way to train like a samurai, how they used to train at least, is hybrid athlete style. So that's what I'm here to discuss. Resistance training. It's important to keep in mind, and this is the same thing for like if for the military as well. And it's like, you don't train to have six-pack abs. You don't train to be aesthetic. You're training to be a weapon. And honestly, that's the most important thing to me. I'm not really here for aesthetics, but regardless, I'm going to get aesthetics because, you know what I'm saying, I train hard. And it shows. And I eat right. And it shows. So yes, although the main priority might not be aesthetics, if you stick with me, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? So specifically, how did they train? They used heavy wooden weapons. So whenever they had the regular weapons, you know, they could move a lot more easier. They lifted stones and logs for strength and wore weighted accessories to make their movement a lot more rigid, a lot more harder, so that when they had their armor, they can move effortlessly. I wanted to add this in, and it's that actually, Demon Slayer training is actually pretty accurate to how the samurais trained back then. Obviously not like the fake stuff with the breathing and then cutting a whole boulder in half, but like carrying heavy baskets, backpacks with rocks on them, calisthenic exercises, running up and down mountains and stuff like that. That's pretty accurate. So the calisthenics portion, I really couldn't find anything specific because I'm pretty sure those things didn't have names back then. Like, yes, they would do push-ups and sit-ups, and then obviously those things didn't have names back then. But what I can tell you is that they had strong backs, legs, and core. Why? Well, think about combat, right? You need strong core for rotational strength, like boxing and moving your hips. The strong back was for climbing and all these things, having to carry your armor, having to carry those rucks, if that's what they had, if that's how they trained. And the legs is for the same reason, carrying the armor, carrying your weapon, moving efficiently with your weapon. And then this is just an extra little thing of they condition their hand in rice buckets. So actually it'd start off with dirt. They'd strike dirt with their hands, and then they strike rice, and then it turned into eventually pebbles, which is cool. A little fact I want to throw in there. If you want to do that, that's cool. I'm not doing that though. Cardio. First of all, cardio does not kill gain. That's BS, and you should already be well educated enough to know that. This aspect being cardio is super important to samurai training, and it's still important when it comes to combat. If you're not fit in that way, then you won't survive on the battlefield. You won't survive in combat sports. That's one of the most important things, if not the most important things, because it doesn't matter how skilled you are, how much power you have, whatever it is, if you don't have the stamina to keep up with it, then it doesn't matter. So don't slack on cardio. Now, another thing about cardio is that in different ways that you can train with the cardio, with the program that I'm about to show you, actually, samurais were efficient swimmers, and they have that as a part of the training, and they train with their gear on and stuff like that. So it was an important skill for them to know, and they trained in this way. Running and hikes, they had exceptional levels of stamina and gained it through this type of training for a reason, like hunting and battle. Imagine fighting for days. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and instantly having to be on go because somebody infiltrated your camp. And then marches is an obvious way you can apply this as well. And you can do this by rucking or whatever. But this is just to show you with the program that I'm about to show you. It's like, it doesn't have to just be running. It doesn't have to just be rucking. It doesn't just have to be hikes with cardio or whatever you want to do. You can do different things. You can swim and honestly play basketball. You can play soccer to keep the exercise interesting, to keep the exercise fun. Now, mental training, the mindset, that's the most important part to transforming your body, to transforming your mind. And not only were samurais good with the sword, but they were also good with the pen and other things, often encouraged to pursue arts like art, painting, poetry, tea ceremony, even gardening. Meditation was a vital part to samurai training. Meditation and discipline. The samurais were very resilient and extremely disciplined. And here are techniques that you can apply to also be this way, so that whenever you struggle with the program or whenever you struggle with the training, you can have the mentality and the mindset of a samurai, be the modern samurai, be the modern warrior. And so they'd push themselves with sitting in snow, with limited clothing, standing under a cold waterfall, sometimes practicing deprivation and eating and not eating or not drinking water. So like fasting for a certain amount of time. And these are things that callous your mind, that challenge you to be great. And like I've said before about the samurai and the fugitive, the difference, the cops have to go in there because they had that mental fortitude. They'd build in their get resolved. The longer the situation kept going, the more motivated they'll be to see it through and to exploit their advantages. In summary, if you want to train like the samurai, the equivalent is military type training. But if not, I'd say the hybrid athlete training is definitely the best way to go, especially for aesthetic, because not only are you getting aesthetics, you're also using functional training. I'm going to tell you that, but it's honestly no difference. I've trained the hybrid athlete training my whole life. I think it's definitely the way to go, because remember, aesthetics is not the priority. And if you're watching my channel, you're interested in being a warrior, be the warrior in the garden, not a gardener in the war. That's what I train for. Aesthetics is just a plus, because you're going to get that regardless with the right diet, with the right training anyways. But this is just an extra step above. That's another thing about training in this way, is that it's a great way to lose fat and build muscle and still be functionally fit. So here's how I would set up your training. At least in the beginning, I'm going to do a disclaimer, and that's the mistake that people do with hybrid athlete training. They get into running right away and they run 5 days a week, long miles, and that's how you get injured. The first week to the first month, I wouldn't worry about the short runs. Just do the gym exercises and then the long runs, and that's it. And so back and legs, right? For the climbing strength, the hunting strength, the leg strength, carry the heavy gear to have that. Because the back, not a lot of people know this, but the back is actually a part of your core. It's more often than not overlooked. And so that's an important part. And with this, you're training core every training day. So back and legs, and then you're going to involve a core exercise. Arms and chest and shoulders, you're going to add a core exercise. Now with the arms, chest, and shoulders, day 2, not only do we want to be functional warriors, but like I said, you know what I'm saying? You want to look good, right? So I added the arms and the chest and the shoulders in there. And it's the same for battle. So like when they carry heavy swords and train with it and stuff like that, you got to condition them arms, right? To lift your gear. And then day 3 is a full body day. So they say it's always best to hit the muscle groups multiple times in 1 week. I have the full body day to do just that, since the other 2 days you're just going to run. Now, if you want to switch this how you like, I'd say that. Switch this how you like, if whatever works for you. I'm not saying this has to be concrete how you do it. This is how I'm doing it. This is how it's working for me. And this is, you know, through my research. And so you're gonna have an active rest day, maybe take a walk, or maybe just, you know what I'm saying, chill out. It don't even matter. But active rest day is the best. So especially if you want to lose weight and you walking, like, people stand by it, they pray by it, they swear by it. So it's great. And even with the short runs or with the long runs, it doesn't always have to be runs. At least for the longer ones, it has to be something more challenging. But with the short runs, you can swim, you can play basketball, you can play soccer in the beginning, you can jump rope or do the rowing machine or do the bike. At least you're getting something short cardio in. Short runs should be 1 to 3 miles. The longer runs should be 3 to 6 miles. I'll say that. But obviously you're not going to worry about that when you're starting out. Just progressively work your way. Don't push yourself too much, because you will get injured. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it, man. If you want to know more about the program, you want specifics that you want to follow, like actual routine, reps, and all that stuff like that, equipment, you could go into my program. You could buy it. It's not expensive at all. If that's what you're interested in, it's going to be in the link. If you want one-to-one coaching, that's also going to be in the link. And besides that, man, honestly, you don't need me to tell you to do these things. You don't need me to tell you how. I did the research for you, and you can find your own path by yourself. But if you want me to be involved, then that's all good. What I care about is that you stay disciplined, you stay focused, you follow routine, whether if it's with or without me. If I could lead you to the results that you want, for you to be the better person, to be the person that you envision in your mind, that's already a plus for me. So regardless, man love, like, subscribe, share if you got some type of benefit from this video. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Mad love. Peace.